So, what if I told you that the greasy stuff left over from your favorite takeout could actually power a jet engine? Sounds kind of wild, right? Well, today we're going to dive deep into how used cooking oil is going from this huge waste problem to an incredible golden opportunity for clean energy.
Okay, so first things first, let's really get a handle on just how big this problem is. Because honestly, it's way bigger than you probably think, and it's kind of hiding in plain sight.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? A restaurant cooks up tons of fries, all that crispy fried chicken. Where does all that leftover oil actually end up? You'd hope it's all handled properly, right? But the reality? Well, it's a whole lot messier.
So, just how messy are we talking? Well, let's zoom in on just one country, Egypt. Get this, every single year, they generate 2.6 million tons of used cooking oil. That's a mind-boggling amount of, well, potential pollution, or, as we're about to see, potential fuel.
And this is where the scale of the problem really hits you. A staggering 90% of all that oil, it's not collected, it's not recycled, it's just thrown away. Poured down drains, dumped into the ground, you name it. Only a tiny little 10% actually gets collected. That's a massive resource just going straight down the drain, literally.
And the fallout from that missing 90%? It's pretty serious. You know, when that oil goes down the drain, it creates these huge, disgusting fatbergs that clog up entire sewer systems. Super expensive to fix. But it's worse than that. It contaminates rivers, it hurts fish and other wildlife, and it seeps into our soil and groundwater. It's a huge environmental hazard, and it really does affect all of us.
Okay, so it's a huge mess. But what if we could flip the script? What if we could turn this liability into something incredibly valuable? Let's get into the solution, because this is where waste becomes a really powerful resource.
And that solution has a name, biodiesel. So what is it? Put simply, it's a renewable fuel that burns cleaner than regular diesel. And the best part? We can make it directly from stuff like used cooking oil. It's a real, sustainable alternative that can power trucks and machines, all while cutting down our carbon footprint in a big way.
So how does this magic actually happen? You know, how do you get from greasy fryer oil to fuel? Well, the process is surprisingly straightforward. Step 1, you collect the waste oil. Step 2, you clean it up, get all the gunk out. And Step 3, you put it through a chemical process called, and this is a fun word, transesterification. All that really means is you're breaking down the fat molecules and turning them into top-quality biodiesel that's ready to go.
Of course, this whole system doesn't just build itself. It needs visionaries, you know? Architects who can see the big picture and build a whole new industry from the ground up. So, let's meet the folks who are actually making this happen. This is Rotterdam. They're an Egyptian consultancy, and they are right at the center of this whole movement. And they're not just another company making biofuel. No. They're a Cleantech company that's building the entire ecosystem, everything the industry needs to actually work and grow.
And when I say they do everything, I mean it. They're doing the initial studies to see if a project even makes sense. They're building entire facilities from start to finish. They're bringing in the right tech and know-how. And they handle all the tricky stuff, like quality management and getting those super important certifications, like the ISCC, which is basically a global stamp of approval that proves your biofuel is legit sustainable. They even help set up carbon credit programs. They really are the architects of this whole industry.
And this whole vision is summed up perfectly by their executive manager, Dr. Ibrahim Farouk. He said, Egypt can easily become a regional hub for biofuels by 2030 whenever the investments are available. I mean, he sees this clear path for Egypt to become a global leader, using its natural advantages. The only thing missing? The investment to make it all happen.
So you can see this isn't just about doing something good for the environment, right? This is a massive economic opportunity. You could even call it a green gold rush for the whole region.
And this is where the numbers get really, really interesting. A Swedish study found something incredible. It can be up to 6 times cheaper to produce biofuel in Egypt than it is in Europe. I mean, that's not just a small advantage, that is an absolute game changer on the global stage.
And this huge cost advantage lines up perfectly with geography. Think about it. Egypt is right on the doorstep of the European Union, which just so happens to be the biggest market for biofuels in the entire world. So you've got super low production costs right next to massive demand. Yeah, that is the perfect recipe for a massive export boom.
And listen, this isn't just some theory on paper. Rotterdam's track record proves it. They've already got more than 7 facilities up and running. They've helped sell over 200,000 tons of biodiesel to the EU, and their work isn't just in Egypt. They have projects in Jordan, the UK, the USA. They are turning all that potential into real, concrete results.
But believe it or not, the story doesn't stop with biodiesel. Not even close. This technology is moving so fast, and this journey that starts with some old cooking oil, it's leading us to even cleaner and more powerful fuels for the future.
So, what's next? Well, the next big thing is sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF. And this is a huge deal, because flying is one of the hardest industries to make green. But SAF, made from renewable stuff, can slash aviation emissions by up to 80%. And the best part? It works in the jet engines we already have. And it's not just about planes. There are other advanced options popping up, like something called hydrotreated vegetable oil, or HVO. It basically uses a more sophisticated process than regular biodiesel, and you end up with an even higher quality fuel that performs better.
And really, all this expertise, all this infrastructure we're building for biofuels, it's a stepping stone to the holy grail of clean energy, green hydrogen. We're talking about a truly zero-emission fuel here, a complete energy revolution. And to think, it was all kicked off by figuring out what to do with a common waste product.
So all of this leaves you with a really cool question to chew on, doesn't it? We've just seen how something we throw away, used cooking oil, can be turned from a problem into a treasure. It really makes you wonder, what else are we calling waste right now that's just waiting for us to realize its true value? What's the world's next hidden treasure?